So maple syrup season is here, and we decided to try our hand at some homemade maple syrup. All right, what's going on, everybody? We're here at the property today. The weather is about 50 degrees today. That means we are in the maple syrup season. So here in Northeast Ohio, maple season is when the days are above freezing and the nights are below freezing. The freezing and thawing of the weather triggers maple trees to start pushing sap to its buds, and this sap is what we're after. The sap contains sugar, and when the sap is rendered down by the process of evaporation, we are left with what we know as maple syrup. Well, we're just about ready to go. I grabbed a 5-gallon bucket that we had laying around. I grabbed 3 of the 3-gallon buckets with lids. In here I have a drill, the taps, and I'm gonna bring a little hatchet. If you got any tips while you're watching this video, go ahead and post them down in the comments if you've done this before. We've never done it. This is the first year. So high hopes. I'm sure we're gonna do some things right. I'm sure we're gonna do some things wrong. But if you see them, point them out for us. And we're all in this together. So I'm always about learning something new. Man, look at that thing go. So awesome. The process of tapping is pretty straightforward. We have opted to use a 5/16 drill with a straight 5/16 stainless steel tap. We drill in with a slight upward angle, and we go about 1 inch in. And there it comes. Now it is time to lightly pound the tap into the hole to create a solid fit between the tap and the tree. In our case, our taps have to hold a 3-gallon bucket. So let's get a bucket hooked onto it and we can move on. All right. So the idea is to take these buckets, these 3-gallon buckets, and we're gonna put a hole in it so it sits right on this little lip here and just drains right into the bucket itself. Ideally, it'd be nice if we can put a lid on it too as well, just to keep critters out, but we're gonna be draining it anyways, or filtering it. So let's put a hole in this and put it on. I'm gonna be using the same drill bit as I used earlier. Now, if I had to do this part over again, I would just drill the hole the same size as the tap, because a bigger hole means, well, you'll see here later in the video. All right, so let's see if this works like we wanted it to, and there we go. We're just gonna, it's gonna use the weight and drain right in the bucket. I'm hoping it holds the weight. Maybe if we put a lid on it, it will hold it more. It tastes just like water, to be honest with you. Watch this be like an oak tree. Tapping an oak. I don't know. We're gonna try it though. All right, so I actually ran out of containers, so I'll keep that in mind. I have about 100 of them at the house. I just only brought a few. I didn't think there was this many, but we have one here, we have one there, we have one over here on that side of the tree, and we just put one right here. I do have one 3-gallon bucket left, but we're not going to use this one. I'm actually going to keep this one to collect from the other ones, and we'll put a lid on it so that way we can get it home when we are ready to go home. We're gonna let these go for probably another 4 hours or so, and put us into the evening. So hopefully I have enough room to take it home. Hopefully things work out, but we'll seal them back up before we leave. But it's pretty cool. With a few hours to burn, I take some time to sit back, relax, and take in the natural beauty of the outdoors. After all, it is the very thing that led me on the course to spending most of my time outside. All right, so we're back here at the back. Oh my gosh. I'm assuming that the way I'm hooking up these buckets is putting too much strain on them. One of them fell down. But just wanted to share with the way that these silver maples look, and we're just going to check on the progress too. I know it's hard to probably see. Might have to maybe put a string around it and then wrap around the tree too as well, just to make sure that the bucket don't come off. But these silver maples present this like really smooth bark. They say that the younger that the maples are, the more smooth the bark is, and you'll see that there is roughness to this, and it really resembles the poplar tree, which was really confusing. But if I look up at the top and I start following some of the branches, they're opposite, which is not the case on the poplar. So anyways, just wanted to share that. It looks like this was the first tree that I tapped. Looks like there's quite a bit in there. It looks like one of the buckets fell, probably because it was just too much weight. Lessons learned. You'll notice that it's really swampy back here. It's not too swampy, but a lot of the snow melt. However, it is really wet. So let's check this one. Yeah, that tap's just going. This one's not really producing much. And I have the tools to fix this. What I'm thinking is happening is you can tell the angle I put it on. I think it's a little too angled for this. So what we'll probably do is try to pull that out. Man, that sucks. I'm sure there was a lot in that one. But we'll pull that out, and I think we'll reset it. Again, look at this. This is that bark that I was talking about, where it's just smooth, and they got these lines in it, and just scaly though. Never really formed its scales until you get down here. So, all right, well, these don't look to be producing as much. That one over there got quite a bit, and then the ones up front, man, those are really producing. Let's pull these plugs out, or pull these taps out. We'll plug up the tree. That one's actually producing well, and I almost don't want to take that one out. But I think I'm going to, because up front they're putting, I mean, we just tapped those trees up front, and they're already half of what that one is within half an hour. So it is what it is. We're learning. All right, so what we did is I decided we're going to take these taps out. I'm just going to tap this lightly, and they end up coming out. So we're going to take this stick here and chop it off, and then pound it in to plug off the hole. Create a little point and get it in there and hammer it on it. And I'm actually going to just leave it like that. This is a live twig, and I'm going to leave it like that, and it'll seal itself off. I'm just going to take these taps so we can use them up front. We're going to take our buckets and use them up front so we can consolidate. After making my way back up to the front, I found that a couple of the buckets fell off of the taps, and it's probably due to the oversized hole. Oh man, we lost two. So I'm assuming it's the way we're hooking them up, but we're going to have to fix that. Last thing I want is to waste this. It looks like there's still some in here, actually. Oh my god, I can almost smell the sweetness. With daylight running out and the sap in the buckets are full, it's time to seal them up and get back home so we can start rendering this down into syrup. Alright, here's another one. This one's a lot. We got a few more. Man, we probably have 1.5 gallons, 2 gallons. So that is it for these. With how easy it is to collect maple syrup or maple sap for syrup, it kind of makes me wonder why it took so long to actually get into this. But the day is coming to an end, and What's next is we just have to make sure everything's plugged up and property's done, and we're gonna head home. After tapping maple trees all day, I can't help but think how society has gotten so far away from the simple things in life. The honest act of tapping trees for sap that will in return reward you with not only a treat, but the satisfaction of self-accomplishment is a good feeling. No, it is a great feeling. Stick around for the next part of making maple syrup. In that video, we're going to filter and boil down sap to make our very first homemade maple syrup.